Hey guys, Indy of Como here. I know I'm actually still alive. It's been a long time. So this is going to be an update video. Um, Lots of stuff has changed. Little nugget here is 17 months now. Say hey, baby. Yeah. Got a new place. I'm going to start up work again here in a little while. We're just walking around in the general land shared by all the condos. No, I'm not picking you up. Come walk. And life is finally starting to get back to a little bit of normal when it comes to role-playing games. I have a new campaign going. It's a short one, a short campaign. I figure we're already like 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of the way through. We're on like the 5th session, so it's gonna be like a 10 session or less video. Let's not play with that baby. It's just my wife, Ribbit, and one other. Hey, don't chase that. And one other person, new to role playing entirely, though she had seen stuff like Critical Role and stuff before, and she was aware that it's production and that it's a show. So she wasn't expecting Critical Role at her table. And I gave them the option of picking the setting and the system, and they still ended up going with Rolemaster and went into my new setting. So we are running a what I call Introduction to Evil, the Rapiri chapter. The Rapiri is the name of a human group of people living out in the mountains. So we're taking a chance to make characters and answer questions to develop some more stuff about their culture and the area. Hey, what's up? He's wondering why I'm not filming him, I think. That's going well. There's not a whole lot else going on. I don't have a lot of people who are interested in role-playing on a regular basis. Like, there are people who would do one-shots. There are people who have never done it. I actually stopped asking people for a while. I don't know if I said that in my last update video. Yeah, it's a walnut, baby. Yeah. But I just got so tired of people saying, like, yeah, that's interesting, but then they would never actually find the time. So it was interesting in the same way that I find photography interesting. I don't ever shoot anymore, I haven't studied a lot. I find it interesting, but just never put a lot of time into it. So I'm sure that's kind of interesting for those people. Like, oh yeah, that sounds interesting, but with the other many things I'm already doing, I'm not finding time for it. I'd gotten that kind of situation so often, I just stopped asking people. Like, if they weren't someone I knew much better, I wasn't going to ask them. And we'd been hanging out with this gal, Ribbit and I as a couple, hanging out with this gal and playing board games with her and stuff. And so I knew her. I think I knew her enough to ask her. It's a new place to sit, isn't it? Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's going well. Gosh, it's been so long since I made a video. This might be a repeat, but I've discovered Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition. I've only read the rules, haven't even made a character. I should probably make a character. That's probably something I should do on my own time. And it really seems to be what I want out of a superhero system. Like, I feel like the house ruling I would be making would be very, very small. The only question would be, what would my setting be? It would probably end up being like some kind of mix between the kind of default Mutants and Mastermind setting, one of those two cities, and City of Heroes, really. So yeah, that's about it. I've put a couple other game development ideas aside. Like finding Mutants and Masterminds kind of put one of my ideas aside, because that kind of felt like that satisfied that need. The idea to make one where we could capture some of the tension and rush and planning and lore of EVE Online. I don't know how well that would work as pen and paper. I think it would work as role play around the table, but I feel like it's almost going to have to be a kind of pen, paper, tablet RPG, right? If that makes sense. I think the combat part would have to be managed by computer in order for it to be exciting. It's still like, I wouldn't be like replicating EVE Online's stuff. It's about the tone, right? It's about the right kind of tone. I didn't even have a grid. There was no grid map. There was relative positions, and even that was only established between 1, maybe 2 points of reference. And the rest would honestly either be like simply just determined by fiat, or by whether GM fiat or player fiat, or by roll of the dice. There was really not going to be like that huge. The tactical part was going to be very much more about just who you're involved with, and then that's it. In order to do the idea of like, hey, you need to decide what you're going to do. You need to decide quickly, and we're going to lock it in. I feel like I could have done that idea, except for actually updating like how much shield and how much energy and how much armor you've got left, kind of thing. Like when you take the time to actually do that or roll attacks, and you've actually given everybody who went first in the order a whole lot more time to think about things than the last person. So I was like, you know what? I think this is just gonna be better if you just do it on, if you run it, if it is by default run by tablet, right, or PC or phone, maybe. I don't know. It's not gonna be graphically intense or anything like that, so it probably could be done by phone or computationally complex. So anyways, I feel like that's actually about where I'm at on role playing these days. I was gonna say this. I mean, the channel, the channel does pretty. This channel does pretty well for having such sparse updates, such sparse content. My introduction to the Rolemaster family of RPGs is still my best video series. Number 1 is getting, like the first one is getting close to hitting 3,000 views, with number 2, so number 1 is the family, number 2, the General Expectations, I think. Yeah, General Expectations is getting close to 2,000 views, and then Statistics, which is the third one, I believe, is getting ready to hit, it's not getting ready to hit anything. It's a little over 1,000 views, and the next few are all like in the mid to upper like 800 view range. I've definitely thought about remaking those videos and maybe not retiring them. I mean, I think I could probably, if I remade them, I should probably retire them so that they don't get, if I've made better content, why leave the older content available? And also by doing that, I would probably, if I did do this, I would probably keep it down to just Rolemaster 2 in one video, Rolemaster Unified in another video, maybe make passing comments about how RMSS, RMFRP are different, but not really focus on going through the whole families and not talk about all the different editions in one video, and just make, hey, this is Introduction to Rolemaster 2, and then, hey, this is Introduction to Rolemaster Unified. What I'm really waiting on to make that final decision is for Rolemaster Unified to get published. It's the first 3 books, I think, are supposed to be out this year. So we'll see. Baby, we're in the parking lot. You have to hold Daddy's hand. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to pick those up as soon as I can once they're published. And I'll have to sit down and read them and, sink into my head the differences between what they last published, which I think was like in June of 16, plus some updates that they sent out through some images of tables or some forum responses. You know, when people are like, well, I don't know, this doesn't really seem like this works really well. They're like, well, that's fine, because it's not going to work that way anymore. Like, here's the change we've made. So anyways, yeah, when I actually get my hands on Roleplaying Unified and as a published thing and can read the rules, baby, no. Then I'll make up my mind about whether or not I'm going to make a whole set of new videos. That, and I think I'm going to publish on another platform as well. So I feel like that would be a good way to start on that platform. So maybe actually just making the RM2 specific videos and then worry about the RMU videos when it's published. That might be a good way of doing it. But right now I just got to get my head around the new job starting up, which actually isn't new. It's actually the old employer. They still need help. Like 4 years later, they're like, we still need help. So I'm going to go back as a contractor and work for a ridiculous amount of money for like a year and then be done. So I had to put that little boy back in daycare for it. But all right, that's going to be the end of the video. You know, if you've got an update video that you've posted recently, go ahead and link it. I probably haven't watched it yet because I'm usually behind on my YouTube videos. But yeah, post it. Or actually, I know I haven't seen any recently. So go ahead, like, you know, if you're some of the people that I like to listen to and like to talk to that we've talked before, like, hey, make an update video, but where you're at. I actually haven't seen a lot of content out of most of you other than live plays, which is good because, hey, you're playing, right? That's what we want. We want to play. So, anyways, guys, I hope everything's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. And I'll see you later.